Hello and welcome back to Bible Books Challenge, Day 2. My name is Mark Tomlinson. I'm the Children's Outreach Worker at St Mary's Parish Church in Cheadle. And if you joined me yesterday, you'll know that what we're doing is we're looking at the books of the Bible. There are 39 in the Old Testament and 27 in the New Testament, so 66 books in total. And what we're trying to do through Bible Books Challenge is to give you the opportunity of having some fun, looking at some pictures each day and trying to work out which book in the Bible the picture represents. Just as a reminder of what the daily challenge is, well, first of all, it's to work out what the book is from the picture. You might remember I mentioned yesterday that in the tradition of Catchphrase, that reasonably well-known television programme, or the board game called Dingbats, you look at the picture, you observe the different things going on, and you kind of say what you see, and that will hopefully help you to get to identify the book of the Bible that I'm looking at in particular. I'm starting with the Old Testament, so we will be doing all 39 in the Old Testament before we move into the New Testament. As I say, we had 2 pictures yesterday. But one of the other things I encourage you to do, whether you do it as a family or whether you do it as a group of friends who are staying in contact with one another but are isolating or distancing yourself socially using the networks that you've already got, why don't you have a go at trying to work these out and see who can find out first? But the second thing I've encouraged you to do is to try and maybe spend some time looking at that particular book, to look at the stories that are within it, to maybe see what the themes are that are coming through, and to maybe write a few sentences, maybe a paragraph or 2, in terms of summarising what the book is all about. The object is for us to have some fun, but also to learn a little bit more about the book that we know God has given us, this living word, His word, the Bible. How did you get on yesterday? I gave you 2 pictures yesterday. Did you have a go as a family? Maybe did you get it together with your friends and share what you thought the book might have been? Let me remind you again of our first picture. Here it comes. Did you work it out? Did you know which, in the Old Testament, which book it represents? You'll notice as you look at the picture, right near the middle is 1 Samuel. This is the book of 1 Samuel. So what is the book about in summary? Well, we're introduced to Samuel in 1 Samuel. He leads the people in following God. He's an obedient follower of God. However, the Israelites, well, they want to be like the other nations around them. They want a king, and they choose their first king, King Saul, Saul, you'll notice in the picture. He becomes Israel's first king, chosen by the people. He is handsome and head and shoulders taller than everyone else in Israel. However, in spite of his good looks, you'll notice on his tunic that he has no heart for God, and he leads the people badly. Now David is anointed to be king. He has many adventures, including killing an enemy giant. You might know who he is, called Goliath. And eventually, David, chosen by God, replaces Saul as king. So that's the book of 1 Samuel. Did you get some of those things in your summaries? I hope you did. Let's have a look at our second picture. Here it comes now. This one perhaps was a little bit easier. Just by saying what you see, you will see that it's Ezra. Yeah, this is the book of Ezra. And the first part of the book is particularly about another man. In fact, the whole book is about 2 leaders who bring Israel, in fact Judah, back from exile from Babylon, from the Babylonians. The first leader is a man called Zerubbabel. Zerubbabel returns Judah after the exile by rebuilding the temple. You'll see the building in the middle of the picture. So he rebuilds the temple. You see, when he came back, all he found was rubble. Can you see the rubble towards the side there? And can you see what he's holding in his hand? In his hand is a clue to remember his name. Z rubber ball in his hand. It helps us to remember his name. Now the second part of Ezra, well, that's about Ezra himself, and he leads Judah back, and he rebuilds or brings back the people to God's commandments. He teaches them again. He actually rebuilds their hearts as they return after 70 years of exile. The rebuilding of the temple and the rebuilding of the people's hearts for God is recorded in this book as Ezra establishes a united Jewish nation. Can you see on the back of the big S there? He's wearing a yarmulke, which many Jewish men and boys still wear today, signifying their nation. So, having done the first two pictures, and hopefully that's got you into the run of doing these things, these pictures, here's your next two, and here's your first one. There you go. Can you work that one out? And then your second picture, and there you go. Can you work that one out? They're both in the Old Testament, remember, in the same approach as with catchphrase or dingbats. Say what you see and work them out. And let me encourage you again, spend some time looking at the book. Go and find your Bible, open it up, find the books there, and see if you can work out a little bit about what the books are all about. Maybe even when they were set. When were they in the context of the Bible? When were they set? What was going on? And what are the themes as we go through? I hope you have lots of fun doing those two. Here's a reminder again of the two things that I'm asking you to have a go at. And it just remains for me to say, I hope you have a lot of fun. And tomorrow I will be back with two more. And I'll also share with you a little bit of the summary of those books. So thank you. Have lots of fun.